Rahul, the journey and identifying the real needs of the real Indian was a great way of making Micromax a success. Today now, others have jumped into the pool and you're facing a lot of strong competition. What is your vision for Micromax today? Where do you see it in the next 5 years? Is it going to be a hardware mobile company? Will you continue doing more of what you're doing? Maybe identifying more niches? Or do you have something else in mind for Micromax?
Okay, so Pranjal, where we are heading, we feel that hardware is going to plateau in long term. And we feel software and services, that is the future, that is the way forward. And hence, if you have seen all those announcements, we have been one of the most active companies in the in the startup ecosystem in terms of investing. Last year, we were one of the most active companies out there. So what we are doing is we are investing in all these really cool startup companies and working on the whole bouquet of services. So for example, why services? Because mobile phone is just a primary device to access all these services.
Right.
But so mobile phone, the whole definition is earlier it used to be a communication device, but now this is a complete utility device. 24 hours the device is with you. Now, and the first thing, so while you're sleeping, what you're doing is you're charging your phone and you see all your messages and all. First thing, the moment you get up, सबसे पहले हाथ में जाता है on mobile phone.
Yes,
I think
it's you see the phone before you sleep and just after you wake up. That's the first thing you do.
Yeah.
Right. But it's become a gateway to a whole set of functional and utility-based services. In that way, Micromax is coming back full circle to software in some ways.
Yeah, and we love that. I think that is what our forte has been, and that is why we have launched our platform, our services platform, which is called as Around You, which means that that you don't have to download those hundreds of apps and then keep on registering on each app and then keep on doing comparison between, okay, if I want to buy a shoe, it will be available at X price at this app, Y price at this app, or if you want to take a cab, you have to download multiple apps and then do comparison. So we are moving in a world which we feel that apps is not the future. Future is deep linking. This means that how without downloading apps, how I can use all those multiple applications and also can do my comparison just by swiping one right click. Now this means what are we trying to solve is we are studying the behavior of our consumer because of our phone, and then every hour how can we solve your problem. So this means if you love to take cabs, we have a solution for you. If you love to, so by afternoon, if you like to order food, we have a solution for you. If you are looking for a doctor, we just launched this service, announced this service today. A doctor will come on phone because these days the front cameras are so powerful.
No, but this is something which a lot of other companies are also doing. This is now going to be the new normal, that you can allow your phone to offer you a lot of services and access. And that's part of the digital economy that is maturing very fast. But you maintain a fierce independence by even having your own operating system. You've chosen not to go with the existing systems. Why is this focus on something new when you could go with what is established?
So this is the operating system. What we are using is a forked Android, and on top of that there is a layer of our services. And the difference between our services is that you don't have to download multiple apps, and it's a very intelligent system. It keeps on understanding your behavior. So what we are trying to do is so smartphone, that was the era of smartphone. We are moving towards intelligent phones. That how I can preempt you in terms of understanding you, that okay, now is the time. Now Pranjal is on a Saturday evening, he loves to watch a movie. How can I solve that problem? Or in the morning at this time you're going to your office and you always love to book a cab.
And that software is what you've developed to make it intuitive.
Absolutely. So we have a whole analytics engine running behind this, which keeps on understanding your behavior and keeps on suggesting you, okay, now this is a solution every hour. That's what I'm saying. How can you help your consumer every hour and say, okay, this is how I'm going to make your life better.
So tell me, you mentioned that you've been investing in companies. What part of the innovation and research or development of new software and new solutions is done within your company? And what is your plan for, how do you choose what to do in-house and how do you choose what to invest in outside?
Yeah, so it's build versus buy. What do we build and what we buy? So for example, services like music, we feel others can do music better than us because they have a greater understanding of that. That's why we we partner with a company called Ghana. We realized that some services on our OS, like all those avid readers, they would love to see the screen in monochrome mode rather than colored mode, so that it doesn't strain your eyes. We develop that in-house. So whole operating system we are developing in-house, but all those services, we are doing a mix and match of some services we're building in-house and some services where we feel others are better, we are investing in them, and then imbibing all of them into our operating system.
So what is the kind of investments that you expect to do now? Is there a figure that you have in mind, or are there areas that you have in mind? How do you approach it?
So figures we won't be discussing, but yes, it's a substantial sum of whatever we earn every year. We spend a substantial amount on all these startups. In terms of what are sort of technologies what we are looking at. So let's say last year we invested in companies for comparison shopping. We've invested in companies who are meta search companies. In travel, we've invested in a company who has their own wallet. So we now have a seamless integration of our own wallet, which we feel is going to be very important going forward. The sort of companies where we want to invest, I think AI is coming up in a big way. So we are looking at a lot of companies in this segment. So
you're already seen as a company that has a huge potential, but in terms of scaling up to the next level, are you looking at restructuring the companies as a co-founder? How long do you think the co-founders will continue to run the business directly? What will be the growth and scaling up of the organization as you go into these new activities? Because you are now investing in so many companies, your bandwidth to manage all that will demand a new level of leadership from you and your co-founders.
So Pranjal, we came from nowhere. As I said, our backgrounds were quite humble, and we have reached to whatever we have been able to achieve in these many years. I think moving forward, we ourselves as founder, we would like to focus more on strategy, that where to take the company to the next level. And certainly, we have, in terms of talent, we have superb guys who are working in the organization who are coming up. So if you ask where our focus will be as founders, we will be focusing more on the strategy to ensure that how we become a global organization. So right now we are in India, we are in adjoining countries, and now in Russia. We are in top 3 in Russia. So the response to our products and services has been quite phenomenal in other countries as well. I think we have a great platform from here. If we can do something, I think that will be great for us, for the country.